Welcome to the Ovation Show, where we are talking to business owners and executives. We're discussing their business growth, corporate culture, sales, and strategy. We're going to hear about their successes, their challenges, and hopefully we'll get some education, inspiration, and maybe a little motivation too. So now let's learn, grow, and connect. My guest today is an old friend, Red Boswell. He is the president of the International Franchise Professionals Group. Red, welcome.
Thanks, Dan.
Good to see you, brother.
Appreciate you, brother.
So we go back, Tower Club, 20 years ago when we first met.
Yeah.
You weren't doing this.
I was in franchising, but I certainly wasn't president of IFPG. Yeah.
So let's go back to then. You were in franchising, which is kind of where everything starts for you. Talk about it. Where did you start?
I've always been an entrepreneur. I've probably been an entrepreneur since birth, 50 years ago, and started a lot of companies. About 25 years ago, I started one that it really killed, real profitable. And I said, I got to take this national. Well, what does that mean? I didn't have the funds, and I certainly didn't want to give away all the company to help for somebody else to help take me national. So looked at licensing. That doesn't give you really the control that you would want. And franchising was the no-brainer for me. So franchised it, built it up to about 148 franchises across 28 states, and fell in love with the franchising model of helping other people achieve their dreams in business, infusing our culture with them and attracting the right folks to build our culture. And then ultimately everybody wins, and just had a blast. Here we are 20 years later. I'm leading an organization, the largest in the world, that's helping people find the right franchise.
So, we've talked before. I've got a lot of franchise clients that we do benefits for. From massage envies and burger joints and European wax centers and embassy suites and all kinds of hotels all along the gamut. What is the attraction to other people for franchising?
Well, so many people don't want to be controlled by the man. Whether it's they're tired of all the travel or the glass ceiling on income or the 70-hour work weeks, you name it. There's 100 reasons. Everybody has one as to why they are fed up with their job and the restrictions that it has. So, vast majority of the world wants to be their own boss, but what does that mean? That's scary. There's so many uncertainties. You're a pioneer trying to create every bit of a business. Well, franchising fixes all that. It's the perfect combination of being your own boss, in control of your destiny, while having world-class support, branding, operations, accountability, and a lot of other folks doing the same thing in that pool with you, helping all build the business together. So I just love franchising because it takes away so many of the risks of business ownership, and yet you still have all that upside of profitability and fun and exit down the road. It's to me, it's the perfect model for a lot of people, and so many of them don't even realize it's there. You just answered my next three questions all now. I was going to talk about that. If I'm Dan, I want to open a oil change, a lube shop. Yeah. I can make it Dan's Lube Shop or whatever. Sure. Why would I go to Quick Car, or why would I go to Take 5? Why would I create the franchise model? But you answered that with the organizational help, sales help, marketing. Yeah. It's and what's fascinating to me is so many folks come to our consultants. IFPG has about 650 independent agents, consultants, advisors, matchmakers, coaches, whatever they call themselves. I've jokingly say we're the Keller Williams or the Remax of franchising. We work for people for free, and then we're paid by the seller down the road when a franchise is purchased or awarded. So most of the time, folks will come to one of my consultants and say, I think I want to open let's say an oil change. They have an idea of what they want to do. Well, our consultants respect that, but they still come at it with a clean slate. They advise you, educate you on franchising, and then ask a lot of questions, kind of like a realtor, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2-car garage. You start asking those questions when you're buying a house. They ask a lot of questions around business ownership and what you like and don't like, your budget, your credit, your geographic preferences, your time available, your exit timeline, all of those and a lot more. And you may wonder, well, I just said I'm looking to open an oil franchise, an oil business, right? Well, they respect that again, but they still ask those questions because, 90% of the time, that oil franchise or that oil stop is not right for you. There's there's close to 4,000 franchise opportunities out there. And so Did you know service businesses, mobile businesses, heck, over half the industry service in mobile. And so most people think McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, that's what's out there. There are thousands that are probably a whole lot better and a whole lot cheaper and might make a lot more money than what an oil change, for instance.
Well, I like what you're talking about, really consulting with somebody. If I walk in and said oil change and you say, well, hey, it's going to cost $250,000 to open this, you only have $50,000. And you can, help me fit into where would be a good franchise, or hey, the demographic you're in, the area you're in, there's better opportunities.
Yeah.
And really talking to that person, and again, being like a realtor, what are you looking for, making a fit?
Well, I tell you what, too, we hear that all the time. You only have 50,000, dude. 50,000 is great. There's no only in that scenario, unless, of course, you're looking to do something that's $500,000 and above. So 50,000 is terrific. You got decent credit. We can get SBA loans. We can do a 401k rollover, tax-free and penalty-free of your own 401k dollars, investing into your own organization. You can do a home equity. You can do lines of credit. Lots of ways to fund your entrepreneurial endeavor, whether it be a franchise or a resell, purchasing an established business. Lots of options. So that does restrict a lot of people. Feel like it's their self-imposed restriction that, man, I only have 50, I only have 100, I really can't do much. You might be surprised how much you can do.
So going into that, if somebody comes to you and says, I don't know what I want to do, I just want to be a business owner.
Yeah.
What percentage of people do you find are in that area? I just want to be a business owner. I don't know what I want to do. Help me.
Love that, because that's approaching it from a position of humility. You're the guide. I respect you. You're the franchise expert. Let's figure this out together. Not many do that, and that's okay. In fact, the majority of the folks we ultimately place or help find a franchise, they weren't even looking for a franchise. So those executives that are in career transition, those 50-somethings and 60-somethings that are experiencing age discrimination, which is absolutely rampant. I didn't realize that until I started speaking with folks in that age group, and I hear it on a daily basis that I was making $250. I'm getting offered $80 now. I left this position for whatever reason, and I absolutely have not been able to find anything close to that. And so they get approached, one way or another, God shines on them and they have this light bulb moment. Wow, maybe I could buy my dream job. Think about it, buy your dream job. Now, it's not a job, you own it. It's your franchise, you're the owner of that, but you're getting to do what you want, when you want, as much as you want, and make as much as you want too. So it's we get a lot of folks that had no idea franchising is so broad. Just about anything out there is a franchise.
I mean, you're helping make the American dream possible for, thousands and maybe millions of people now.
It's exciting. It's very fulfilling for our consultants to be able to every day help people see, in many ways, get a new lease on life. I mean, they're seeing for the first time, oh my gosh, I don't have to accept this career that was leaning up against the wrong wall in the ladder analogy. And I can start over fresh and new and build something quick and profitable and really fulfilling. It's cool.
So what do you guys do? So if you're consulting with me, we find a franchise, I do a franchise. What support or what do you guys do after that happens? Do people still stay a member of IFPG after the fact? Or is it kind of like until I get up and running, I'm with you?
Yeah, great question. So IFPG, International Franchise Professionals Group, is an organization that has really 3 membership types. We have the consultants. Those are the advisors helping people identify the right franchise. We have the franchisors. We work with, we vet franchisors pretty thoroughly, and we work with what we feel is the best 600 franchisors, franchise opportunities. And then we have suppliers to the industry, folks lenders, as we discussed earlier, real estate professionals in the commercial space. We have insurance, you name it. And heck, Ovation should be a member if you're not already, right? Anybody that supports any kind of business owner, we have members that do that. But we don't have is franchisee members. So the franchise buyer, the person that we ultimately place in a franchise, they're not really a member. They're always coming back to the consultant, that advisor that helped them, and saying, hey, the franchisor said I can work with any real estate professional. Do you have somebody for me? Now, normally the franchisor already has all that in place, but occasionally the franchisor say, okay, here's our marketing plan, but you do need to work with somebody locally on XYZ. Awesome. come back to the consultant. Who do you have that can help me with door hangers or radio buying or whatever that marketing avenue is? So yes, we tend to help the franchisee that's recently bought that franchise in about any area they need.
So you really become that resource center for the entrepreneur.
We do. It's once you've established that relationship, that trusted advisor relationship, you're there forever. Think of, again, back to the buying a home. Your real estate agent hopefully asks you a lot of questions, becomes a trusted advisor, finds the right houses for you, shows you those houses, hooks you up with lending, and then you bought that house. Maybe you need some painting, maybe you need some roofing, maybe you need some plumbing. Typically, you don't know that market. You maybe moved to a new city. Certainly, most folks have no clue how to spell franchise when they first hear about it. So they reach back out to the consultant. Who can you help me in this area? The answer is always yes.
So you're talking about 600 roughly franchisors. I learned that language from you, Zors and Zs.
Yes, franchisee, franchisor. We say it so often that we just Zor and Z, and people look at me funny and go, oh, I'm sorry. Franchisor, franchisee.
So look at the 600 you have that you said you're vetting them. You're looking for quality franchisors. Are you seeing trends now in what type of Zors are out there? Has it changed a lot through like with pre-COVID, after COVID?
Well, the horizon of opportunities hasn't changed that much, but what's hot certainly has. Now, in the past, pre-COVID, nobody asked, how do you handle a pandemic? How did your franchisees fare? That's one of the first questions any candidate asks today. How did your franchisees fare during the pandemic? And then how did you support them? Critical to understanding, because we may have another. And I want to know what's going to happen. And a more broad question is recession. Are you recession proof? Are you recession resistant? Or, love this phrase, are you recession resilient? Do you actually thrive during a recession? And then it's one thing to get an answer from the franchisor, but some folks, approach it with, well, this franchisor is trying to sell me something. And to an extent, that's true. If you're a great fit, they want to bring you on. Now, it is a mutual agreement. It's kind of like dating. The franchisor may turn you down if you're not a good fit. But really, you want a unbiased, clear answer. Part of the process in evaluating franchises, you get introduced to all the franchisees. You have literally part of the government regulations in Canada and the U.S. is that a franchisor has to disclose or share with you the contact info for their current and even some of their past franchisees. So you can do validation through them and really get to skinny on, okay, how did the franchisor treat you? What did they do to support you? Are you happy you bought? Did they help you with this and that and launching and marketing? And are you any regrets, any advice? So it's really a very consumer protection oriented culture that we live in within North America for anyone looking to buy a franchise.
We've talked a little bit about what Zs are looking for and what you guys are looking for.
Yeah.
But as a Zor, if I'm a franchisor,
Yeah.
what are the top qualities you see them looking for in their franchisees?
They vary, but something that's pretty consistent is you need to be coachable. Anybody that is a know-it-all that just comes and says, I just want to buy your brand. I got this. That is not a good Z. They're a true hardcore entrepreneur, and those people don't follow proven models. They aren't open to other people's wisdom and advice. They should never buy a franchise. So a franchisor, although looking for someone that's hungry, humble, aggressive, they do need somebody that's coachable because they have proven models. It is their business. It is their system, and you need to be able to follow that system. So that's number one. Number two, you need to have the financial resources. They don't want you to get strapped as you start building it. You need to be able to jive with their culture. Okay, so there are some franchises that are very Christian-oriented cultures. There are some that are really marketing focused. They're looking for a marketer to get out there and shake the bushes and network and sell. Others need somebody that can manage a great team and hire appropriately. So understanding the business model is key to success in a good match between the Z, or potential franchisee, and that potential franchisor.
So let's go back to you. You are and were a successful entrepreneur. What advice do you give to people that you personally, I went through this. These are the things that I did, mistakes I've made. Talk about some of the advice you would give to a franchisee that maybe is just starting off.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. That's a great question. It's a broad one. So I would say first, know thyself, really understand you. What are your strengths? What do you find fulfilling? What do you find joy in? Now, I think it is a fallacy. You hear sometimes people say, find something you love and do it. Well, I love eating dark chocolate and sitting on the beach. Nobody's going to pay me for that. So there is a balance. Find something that you don't hate, that you can find some fulfillment and joy, but really find something that, it gives you the ability to live a life that is fulfilling. It gives you options. I've had folks who say, Red, I love dogs. I want to find a dog business. Or maybe I love helping seniors. Man, high five to you. You love helping seniors. That's so admirable. But if you help seniors 50 hours a week, day in, day out, you're on call 24/7 perhaps. Are you really going to love? You're going to resent them. You're going to have a disdain for dogs eventually if you're doing that all the time. So perhaps you find a business that you're good at, that is fulfilling, that is rewarding, that you can build some time back into your personal life, and you have that income that is secure. And now you can volunteer at the pet center 2 hours a day, or volunteer on the weekends at the senior center to help them. So number one, I encourage folks to find something that maybe they don't just jump out of bed to do every day, but ultimately gives them the life that is rewarding and is fulfilling. And that job or that franchise, that business they own is part of that fulfillment. Beyond that, be open-minded. So oftentimes folks will come to us really saying, no, this is what I want. And they're not as open-minded as they should be, because really what they want after we ask them a few questions is not what they should want. It's just not a good fit. But they had a neighbor or a buddy at church that said, this is awesome business. And they're just looking at the money and nothing else, when really there's a lot of opportunities that might provide that money or similar, but will provide a better lifestyle, is faster to ramp up, is lower maintenance, is maybe even more secure. And so be open-minded to a wise advisor to help guide you to some options that, man, you probably would have never thought about, but ultimately could be really awesome if, again, you approach it with an open mind.
Well, you talk a lot about the quality of life and being independent and having that freedom with the business. How many franchises do you see that there's some that require you're in there every day? I'll use Chick-fil-A. You have to be an owner operator. You're living Chick-fil-A. You're managing it. You're always there. Or some other ones where I can buy it and I'm hands off. Yeah, and it runs by itself. Do you see a big
Sure. That's a great question. So there's three types in this question. There's the fully absentee, fully passive. There's the semi-absentee, and then there's the full-time. Okay. So full-time, requiring you to leave your job and really be focused, 40 hours plus a week. In our inventory, at least, that's going to be about, let's say half. Yeah, okay. Half are going to want you to be fully invested with your time. Now, there's about 1% that are fully passive. That's a rare opportunity. Fully passive. You pay the money, the franchisor handles the rest. Now, the other 49%, the other half, are some level of semi-passive. Now, semi-passive might be, we really want you to be full-time for a year, and then it goes semi-passive as you've built it and proven yourself and built a team. But there's a good third that you can start from day one as semi-passive, meaning keep your job, but still have significant responsibility around hiring, managing the manager, keep a job again. Maybe you got that killer executive job. You're making great income. You've got some significant cash flow. You got some great savings in 401k and some credit, and you want to diversify your portfolio. You can keep the job, be a semi-absentee owner, still investing 10 or 20 or 25 hours a week in managing the team and overseeing the marketing, maybe purchasing the marketing, maybe doing a little bit of the invoicing, doing some role, but ultimately being responsible. You probably have to take a week off from work, maybe a week and a half, and go to the franchisor's training training program. Hopefully you might bring a manager with you so they go through it as well. Or maybe you go through the training program, you begin launching the franchise, and during that you hire a manager or two, and then they go through the training as well later. So lots of variables around semi-absentee, but I love the question because so many folks don't realize there are hundreds and hundreds of really good opportunities that can provide incredible income that allow you to still maintain that job.
Something I want to touch on too. You haven't said this. You haven't talked about, I guess, passion, enthusiasm too much. But you have tons of passion, enthusiasm. I mean, it's every video, every meeting you go to, the Zooms and the LinkedIn Lives and all the things you do. You see that you really enjoy what you're doing when you're out there with the Z's and the Zors, and you have a great time everywhere you are.
I do.
At least it seems like you do.
I really do. I love what we do. It's so rewarding when you're in the position like I am, which is a total godsend. It's such a blessing. I was a franchisor for many years, and then I advised franchisors, which I enjoyed those plenty, and they were very fulfilling. I then became chief development officer of 2 different global brands over several years, helping them grow. And again, very fulfilling. But now to be able to be the president of a 1,400 member organization, half of which are consultants, half of which are franchisors, and then around 5 or 10% are suppliers. Every one of them are impacting lives. One of our hashtags is life changer, because that's what we do every day. It's so rewarding. I feel like I think it might be even on my LinkedIn profile, like descriptor, franchise evangelist, because I try not to make it too evangelistic, but I just love it. I love every single day seeing lives change, seeing communities positively impacted, seeing families awakened and brought together through the beauty of franchising. I'm a fan. I really enjoy it. It's fulfilling for me.
I love it. I love the passion, the excitement, and the enthusiasm. And you talk about bringing families together. So let's just go personal. Talk a little about your family, because you've got, I see you on Facebook and your kids. And so tell me about your family.
Thanks. Well, I'll talk all day. I'll try to shove me up here. So I've got 3 kids and a wife of 22 years. The kids are 20, just about 20, 18, and 16. So a lot of teenage angst in the household. 2 of them off at college. So proud, as you grow up and you're an entrepreneur, and I kind of, you hear work-life balance. I don't like that term, honestly. I love work-life integration or work-life harmony, because my work is my life and my life is my work, but my family is my life and my family is my work. It's all integrated constantly. When it's your passion, you find fulfillment, you get to integrate it. And you always wonder, I certainly always wondered, do my kids resent it? Do they resent that we might be hiking Yosemite and dad takes a call? But guess what? We're freaking hiking Yosemite. I get to do 4 or 6 or 8 weeks of vacation, or I do work trips where I take the kids, but then I work while on the vacation. I integrate it. It harmonizes. And so I've had that concern a lot.
Well, I love having that harmony in life and work. And like you said, not a balance, but really that harmony, and hiking Yosemite with your kids. So they've got to appreciate that. Have they shown any of your kids shown any interest in the business or entrepreneurship?
You always wonder that. Do they resent it? Are they attracted to it? Are they fascinated by it? Do they want to do more, or do they just want to flee from it? And fortunately, it's been a real blessing and comforting to me that both of the boys, anyway, at age 17, approached me and said they needed to get some income. They wanted some money, and they said, Dad, can we do something in franchising? And so I introduced them to several franchisors who were hiring, and both of the boys started out in an entry-level franchise development, sales, if you will, qualifying and scheduling, and it's been fantastic. Both of them still today here, a year and a half, 2 years later, are working it while they're in school. Both are in college now. One is, putting in 10 hours a week. The other's doing about 30 hours a week as a full-time college student. In fact, Mason, the older one, not only has grown into the franchise development role, but he, to my knowledge, is the youngest certified franchise consultant in history. So big, proud dad there. He took all our classes and passed the exam to become a true consultant for people looking to become a franchisee. So yeah, proud.
That's awesome. Congratulations to Mason.
Thanks.
In fact, I remember seeing pictures on LinkedIn of the proud dad and him up there speaking on a podium, and that's exciting.
Yeah, that was his first event after becoming a certified consultant. I don't know if you can tell in his eyes, he's terrified, but it was good.
Weren't we all the first time in front of a microphone?
Exactly. Still are sometimes, but you got to stretch, and he is very much into just growing, stretching, and achieving more.
That's awesome. So, you forgot one baby though that you forgot to tell us about. And for anyone out into cars, I love your truck. It's got besides the franchise license plate, we love our tags on our cars. Yeah. But just tell everybody about your car.
Well, I affectionately call it Lemmy. It's a 1970 Jeepster Commando. So Jeep back in 1970 for about 4 years was called Jeepster, and it's a Commando, which is just an odd looking in between a Willys and a CJ7. Of course, it's a Jeep, so it's convertible, and it's fun. It's my daily driver. And, I probably got hat hair or windblown hair as we speak, but it's a fun, hobby that I just love. And yes, the franchise license plate gets some questions. What is, franchise? That's what the license plate says. So we have fun with it. And, my wife rolls her eyes and refuses to ride in it, but it's a blast.
I love it. In fact, you were saying, since we office in the same building, it's like, oh, we could have rode up here together. And I'm like, dang it, I could have been in that.
Your hair looks as bad as mine.
Yeah. So as we close this out, Red, how do people get hold of you, get hold of IFPG? What do they do?
Yeah, well, thank you. So I'm on LinkedIn, and I'm a big fan of LinkedIn. In fact, if you want to understand a little bit more about IFPG and becoming a consultant, there's really 2 resources. Let's connect on LinkedIn. Red Boswell, R-E-D Boswell. And in there, my profile is a great 22-minute video where I go through a lot of things you should consider if looking to become a franchise consultant. And then our website, of course, is real easy, IFPG, International Franchise Professionals Group.org. Now, we own .com as well, so IFPG.org.com. There's a lot of great info there on whether you're a franchisor, looking to become a franchise consultant or advisor, and even folks who are suppliers to the franchising industry and would like to understand more, you can fill out a quick form there, and our Director of Franchise Membership will reach out to you. I'm honored to talk to you as well, and always love hanging out with Dan.
Awesome. Good to see you. Everyone, thanks for tuning in today. Hopefully you got something out of this. Red's awesome, and so is IFPG. Thanks for coming in, tuning in, and now a word from our sponsors and our supporters. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in to the Ovation Show. We'd like to give special thanks to our supporters, Craig Shelley Luxury Watches and Fine Jewelry out of Beverly Hills, Success North Dallas, where Bill Wallace has been making connections for over 30 years, and Work Innovators, where they're amplifying the voice of business. And now, a special word from our title sponsor.
Employers turn to TBX to provide a modern, seamless, and hassle-free self-enrollment experience for core and voluntary products aimed at educating, not selling to employees. In fact, not only can employers provide a user-friendly, mobile responsive technology solution full of dynamic communications, professional videos, and a data-driven decision support tool, they can do so at no cost to them. That's right, with TBX, there are no setup fees or PEPMs, and there's no need to replace existing technology, as we can easily snap onto any existing HRIS and HCM systems. Plus, the enrollment experience is ready in just 30 to 45 days or less, and data files are properly formatted and delivered to carrier and payroll destinations quickly, securely, and accurately. We look forward to helping you accomplish what others can't. A state-of-the-art technology platform for open enrollment, new hires, and qualified life event processing that's simple to implement and maintain. A partnership that's a perfect fit. That's TBX.
As business leaders, we all know that healthcare is expensive. In fact, it's one of the top 5 expenses in most companies. The decisions you make or don't make in your healthcare plan can have financial repercussions down the road. But not all is lost. There are ways to take charge and get your employees the best possible care, all while reducing overall costs for us as employers and employees too. Get your copy of Life and Death Decisions in the C-Suite, where Dan Labroad and his colleagues pull back the curtain and address how the private healthcare system and health insurance industry have plagued businesses for decades. What you'll discover will empower you to take back control over your health insurance costs that could mean massive savings for your company while giving your employees better quality healthcare. Get your free copy now at the link below or using the QR code provided.